thought that's what you meant. So I was the red Koreans in this game. So we both of us randomed. And I want to discuss the map. So we had blue as the Blue Britons. Now, the rankings were, I believe this guy was 1680, and at the time I was 1696. So, what I want to talk about first is the builds. I'll go to the map and then the builds. So, I did a pretty standard fast castle. So, 6 on food, 4 on wood, etc. I do want to point out that this guy didn't do the builder that I was expecting. He's literally mono male villages, which is kind of funny. But back to the map. So if we describe my map, my berries are at the front. My stone, my main gold are at the front. My wood line is at the front. I have a huge open back of my base. My secondary gold's not too bad. It's in the back. TC here is fine. But that's about it. My secondary stone. I believe this is my secondary stone. Awful positions, right? And it's pretty easy. So what I could have done to avoid the future is done a bit of early aggression. I wasn't feeling comfortable early aggressioning after my last attempt, which ended in a game crash. So I was pretty sad, and that one was pretty good. Bit of a miss micro there. I was clicking on the sheep, but I must have clicked just next to it. And if we go back to my opponent's screen, gold berries sort of on the front, but a very open base. Wood line in the back, not too bad. Stone in the back. Boar nice and close. Deer miles away. What troubles me is he doesn't seem to have gone on wood yet, which is kind of funny. That's really weird. He's got 2 guys on wood now, but he's got so many on food. So many. Okay, there he goes, onto wood now. That's weird. One thing I did not do well in this game... okay. So, I joined his lobby, and the map was actually unexplored, so it sort of threw me what to do with my scout. I decided I wanted to just after I found all my sheep, to scout him out, see what he was doing. But I didn't do a good job of sort of keeping it there. He lost a vill too. He did not have loom. Okay. So I'm not sure why. Oh my god, this build. Anyway, I'm getting my second bull now. Mill up right against the berries. It could have been one tile this way. I'm not sure it really matters all that much. Bit of idle time. Unfortunately, this vill went to that sheep. Small things. So, what I wanted to do here was sort of section. I could have done it across the top here, which probably would have been better. Build my houses up there, but then it would have taken more time to get there. Here was my gold. Okay, I didn't even. That's my secondary gold, and this is actually my third gold. So map gen didn't favour me very much. As Koreans, I'm not very experienced as Koreans. So my basic aim for this game was to boom into sort of a war wagon, trash and siege, death ball, basically. At this time, I didn't actually notice that I had no stone in the back, but that would have been good to, look over. I noticed he's taking deer. Never, ever take deer this far away from anything. Right? I wish that I had drushed this game. This game would have been over immediately if I had drushed him. But instead, because I didn't drush, things got bad. And I'm not proud, honestly. But you live and learn. That's why you play ranked games, to understand your mistakes. And now I'll make more of a effort to do some drush action. because I would have killed all 3 of these villages, or at least denied him a lot of food. He's also on a lot of gold for some reason. His build order is non-existent. I don't even know where all these villas are. Okay, he got a really early feudal age, and by this time I was like, is that early? He's either going for... He's going for a trash. I knew he was going to go for a trash, basically. This woodline sucks for trashing, so he'd put a tower here. If he put a tower there, that would both secure this and take me off my main woodline. And as you can see, there's not too many other options that I really had. My deer was so far away, so I actually built a mill out here. This is what he should have done, basically. Built a mill next to his deer, instead of having this one villager. Oh no, this one villager gathering from deer. Fun fact, four vills, perfect. It takes all the meat from the deer with minimal decay. Okay, so my eco's ticking along nicely. Pretty standard fast castle build, going up on 27 pop. Again, I really wish I'd drushed, and I would have gone up in 31 pop if that was the case. I also might have seen what was going to happen to me. Right now my scout's just sort of chilling here. I could have at least harassed. He doesn't even have loom. I could have killed that villager so easily. He's actually brought a vill forward, and he's started making archers. If I go to his perspective, so he's building a fair few archers and brought his scout forward, villager forward. Of course, I probably didn't see that because I wasn't scouting. So if I was paying the viper amount of attention, I would have seen this. So there's a little bug in HD where the ground changes underneath the building. So even though when I first went through here, there was no building, the landscape actually changed, revealing there's actually something here. But of course I wasn't paying attention to that. Now he made a questionable play here. Soon. Again, my eco is going fairly nicely. Going up to castle now. Not a bad time. Could have been better, but it could have been a lot worse. He brings this vill in. So he's explored. He knows where all my resources are. And for some reason, he decides to put his tower here. This is an awful place for a tower. The best place he could have done was here. And then here. And then here. Did he research cartography? No, I did. Oh, that actually cost me resources. I'm an idiot. So what I did in response to this, as I noticed, was bring a couple villages off the line. He doesn't have loom, so my villagers take him out pretty easy. Okay. What really hurt was these guys. These archers. So I managed to pull my villagers away. I saw that they were coming this way, so I decided to pull them back. This one was a little bit slow, unfortunately, and she's going to die because of it. He was quite good at staying just out of TC range, which is unfortunate. So I'm trying to shuffle my economy around, making sure that his raiding is as ineffective as possible. But unfortunately, again, he was doing a pretty good job at microing his archers. I didn't lose any. And this sucks, because all my resources are out here. I can't mine gold or stone. Unfortunately, that villager had to die as well. No reason for that. So this is where I was starting to feel a bit pressured, I want to say. He will come in a bit. So he brings a couple more vills forward, and this is a good tower location, right? So this covers my main stone, my main gold. He's got archers here. I can't contest that. So I think about retreating, but then I realised he's only got 2 vills there, and I decided to build a counter tower. I pull a couple more villages off the line because I noticed that he's creating it really quickly, actually. Like quicker than I thought it would go up. I thought I'd get my tower up a lot longer before him. But I do eventually get it up, And because I'm Koreans, I actually get the guard tower bonus for free. So I lost that villager, unfortunately, because there was no room in the tower. So I do have some idle vills, unfortunately, but my eco is a lot stronger than his. If we go to his perspective, his eco is relatively non-existent, right? So he is next to nothing. So the most important thing to do in this situation, basically, keep creating villages. Like, you need to replace the ones you've lost. Keep creating them, keep assigning them. Don't panic too much. So these are only archers. If they were crossbowmen, I'd be more scared. They're just archers. And like the pathing for this, like to get to the wood, they're literally walking this way. And I'm sad. He decides to try to repair his tower, which didn't work out very well for him. So I am actually going to take out that tower just because of that free upgrade, which is really nice. Meanwhile, I didn't ring the town bell. I stopped creating villages for a little bit. I'm in the middle of a panic. I'm trying to I built this siege workshop. I thought I was in trouble, honestly. He lost a lot of archers here for free. But yeah, so now I'm feeling the pressure a little bit. I need wood. I've decided to build some mangonels. So I start building some mangonels to deal with the archers. Meanwhile, his eco is looking slightly better than it was before. Still not great. So I need stone. This tower made me like lose 125 stone. And I need some for town centers to really boom. So the disadvantage of him going so heavily into archers, towers, investing so many resources in this is his own eco has to suffer for it. Like, he won't have the micro to adjust. So I pull out my mangonel. He actually does a pretty good job. Yeah, I was targeting ground here. Trying to be fancy. I thought he'd come back. I'm still creating villages as I can. He's pressuring me on both sides now, so I'm starting to feel the pressure a little bit here. But I tried to draw him into the TC, but he actually was pretty aware of what I was doing, which surprised me. These two archers over here caused me a little bit of grief. This tower here stops him from pushing in here, so it was a really good tower to have. I'm glad I did it. Now he starts securing this hill, which is good. For him, he needs to secure this hill. It's a great way into my base. It's hard for me to push up, because he'll have the hill advantage. Luckily, though, he's still microing his archers, and I'm getting sad now. So, luckily, my mangonel manages to finish off the majority of the archers and stop the tower going up. That's fine. I made a miss micro here, and instead of just retreating, I went forward, which allows his scout to get in, and unfortunately take out my mangonel. Now, in the meantime, I've got a little bit of idle time. I was a bit annoyed that I lost my mangonel. This is what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't just leave guys garrisoned. You should get them working, get them out, create some villages. So I have plenty of food for vills. I need to be creating them all the time. So that's something I can really improve on. It was just... Yep. He's going to continue creating archers. I got another mangonel out. Still not creating any vills. I decided to build backwards. That's another thing you can do. I've got a decent wall off here. He can't really go around too easily. Like, he'd have to spend a long time going all the way around, and it might not get him anywhere. So I decided to build a town centre back here. Ooh. Thank you, Resonance. Let me just pause the game. Sorry, I just downloaded a new sort of OBS. And all the settings are weird. Okay. Still wrong? Nailed it. Nailed it. Alright. Excellent. So what I'm going to continue with is... So he was harassing my wood line a little bit. He started to secure this hill, which was bad for me. I was a little bit slow in reacting to taking these villages away, unfortunately. But I didn't lose a villa out of it, so that's okay. I'd sort of conceded that I'd lost this wood line, so I was actually going to head back here and start doing that. Did he ring the town bell? He rang the town bell. Something you really don't want to do is ring the town bell to kill the one scout that's sitting there. What? It's not right? Oh, it's not right. Hang on. Properties. I know it went black. Relax. Okay. That was bad. Properties. For scaling. Go back. Oh, why? There we go. Now what I need to do is bring this like that. That's perfect. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Right, I didn't play this at all well, to be honest. Not a villager there. But I'm concentrating on setting up my eco now. So trying to create as many villas as possible. Apparently not out of this TC though. He's going to continue with his pretty heavy forward. And that's fine, really. It doesn't affect me all that much. Now I'm doing it. So I've got my villagers creating at both TCs now. I'm going to focus on building back my economy. Now, he affected it a lot just by denying me basically my stone. Koreans without stone doesn't work too well. Like, I cannot stress enough that my map was bad. So stone, gold, my secondary gold, my secondary stone, my third stone, and my third gold. Really not good. So I know he's going archers. He's the Britons, so I'm expecting him to go, more heavy into archers. So I prepped by making a few mangonels. I wish I hadn't lost my scout. He towers the wood line kind of unnecessarily at this point. If he'd done that first, that would have hurt a lot more. Right now he's just sort of flogging a dead horse. Not really much point to that. A better tower would just be out of range of, or maybe even around here. Maybe a better tower would have been there. Backed up by his crossbowmen, I wouldn't have been able to stop him very easily. Maybe with my 3 mangonels I could have. But we'll see. So, more TC idle time. It's my second rank game in quite a while. It's a bit rusty. That's okay. We'll learn from it. So, I still have the resources to be... Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, I'm just a bit slow on doing it. I think I was organising something like this. Not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal, but... if we check on his economy, it's almost as bad as mine. He's got 2 TCs up, which is good for him. But if we switch to his perspective, if I can click, he's creating villages out of one of them. He's letting his farms go idle. He's pretty involved in microing his guys. Torgal. He brings his guys around here. I'm just chasing him with some spears so he doesn't harass me at all. I handled that pretty well. My chat. Here I make another questionable sort of decision. I go to push the high ground. Wasn't fast enough in microing that away. And instead of backing out, they decide to head around this mining camp for a little bit before retreating. I was really sad. Here I was almost, again, I should have been a bit faster in getting these guys in. Oh, you muted me? Yeah. That's fair enough. Spearman didn't quite cut it. So I think now I chose to tech into pikemen. I wanna assume I did. I've got some idle villages. The abrasive timber. Now he actually retreated there, which I thought was kind of weird. He had the advantage, and I've got a lot of idle vills. I want to go up to imp at this stage, just so I can really start snowballing. I didn't have enough, because I had literally no access to stone. I couldn't make any more TCs, and I was pretty sad. But I'm making pikemen. I see he's building a lot of knights for some reason, even though he's Britons. So I decided just to go straight into pikemen because I was going to go halberdiers anyway, as part of my death ball. So I click up to imp now. He's destroying my houses, which is sad. But I've got a vill over here making more. He didn't know about that lumber camp, I don't think. If he did, then he's weird for not going for it. Yeah, he didn't know it. He could have seen on the map that I was cutting into the trees, but he wasn't that attentive. If we look at the population difference, I've actually got more pop than he does. I believe he stopped creating villages around now. Yeah, he stopped creating villages, and that really allowed me to take hold of the match. After all his good early pressure, he sort of stepped off the pedal, and that allowed me to boom back up. If he'd sort of kept his aggression going, kept raiding me with those knights just in and out, then it would have left me pretty stranded. I've got a lot of resources stockpiled. I built a couple of archer ranges just because I wasn't sure if he was going into crossbows or longbows. Excuse me. So I built a couple of archer ranges, and I was waiting. Got an idle will there. Where did he? Okay. So for some reason he could still be pressuring me. He could just run in and take this keep down. I've got a pikeman just chilling in there for some reason. I was toying with the idea. This is great. So I made a decision here. I knew that I was behind, and I knew that I needed to catch up. So what I decided to do was build a couple of stables, and my intention was to go and raid Ezekiel. He's really invested in his forward. I realised that. What am I doing? Okay, so I just suicide all my pikemen. Not sure why I did that. Yeah, that was silly. But my intention here was to build up a bunch of knights, and I was pretty sure Koreans got cavalier, so I went to build some more knights, cavaliers, etc. And my intention was just to go raid his base while he focused here and all his army was here. Kaylee is so strong. That's like a spud. Hello, Gary01. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Alright, so, again, I was a bit worried about the knights, so I was building up a bunch of pikemen, just in case he decided to engage. I built a couple of rams, because my intention was actually to climb the hill. I saw this castle going up, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, I saw the castle going up. So I wanted to build these guys, but then I made another questionable play and sent them to my opponent's base for no real reason. I was just hoping he wouldn't notice, honestly. I was pulling a page out of Resbot's book. Right, I've got a few idle vills. I'm creating more. There we go. Alright. Fantastic. So right now I'm just trying to mass up an army. I've got Cavalier coming out, Knights. And this was game changing, making this decision. Otherwise, I would have been forever just stuck. Uphill battle against the castle. I had no way of making a castle unless I bought enough stone to do it. And even then, my gold economy was not fantastic. I had this gold, which was sort of contentious, and this one. And that's it. So I really didn't want to buy too much stone. So I decided instead, I love how Koreans get automatically upgraded towers. So that's why I decided to go Mass Cavalier. I actually didn't see what happened to these guys. I'm really curious how far they got. Just massing up my pikemen. I think I went into halbs soon. I thought I did anyway. Did I use blacksmith? I did use blacksmith, my friend. It was here, but it got blowed up. I realised actually that as I was creating these cavaliers, I didn't have a blacksmith anymore. I will 1v1 you. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I realised I didn't have any upgrades because my blacksmith got destroyed. So I think I made one back here eventually. Still messing up pikemen. He's messing up knights, crossbows. Not a bad army, I suppose, but I've got I've got cavaliers for one. When did I build that blacksmith? It was relatively shortly. So I actually didn't notice for ages that I'd forgotten the mill upgrades, and I was wondering why my farms were running out so much. I was just really pressured in the early game. I didn't even watch again. That makes me sad. I actually almost got it. That's kind of funny. I decided to be a bit sneaky because I knew I was going to run out of gold. So I went up to grab this one. So I built a TC up here. I bought some stone to do that. There we go. Blacksmith going up. Cavaliers, I decided that I had enough to do some pretty honourable raiding. So I sent them out. And I was just losing farms like crazy. Can't believe I didn't get them. If we compare the populations, he's on 93, most of which are military, and I'm on 113, most of which are economy. He sends in a couple of rams, backed up by his crossbowmen, and I think his intention is to bring in the knights later. Right now I don't really care about this keep. My cavaliers, run them straight into his eco, and I start slaughtering him basically. I'm a bit worried about this, but I found he couldn't do too much to my cavaliers, so I decided to blow up his arms with that, wait for his knights, and then send my halberdiers in, which I do. Meanwhile, I'm blowing up his base. The spam, man, the spam. Because of these crossbowmen, he actually cleans up my army of crossbows, my army of halbs. I get a decent Onager shot off, but it's not really enough. I don't know why it switched targets. That's okay. So I'm in his base, completely annihilating the eco that he had. I noticed that he hadn't responded to it, so I was unsure if he'd actually noticed. But my eco is not too bad at the moment. It's getting there. He didn't. Alright. He actually petarded my TC down. He used petards to knock my TC over. And I was sad because I didn't have any more stone. But meanwhile, my cavaliers are going crazy. Just didn't do upgrades for them. I think I did them later, but I ripped into his eco. He had no base left, and I knew that he couldn't maintain his offensive. So this is game pretty much over now. Just because I made those cavaliers and sent them around. I would like to think the economy also had a bit of a say in this. Like, a good eco will beat forward aggression in this case. He wasn't quite aggressive enough, and he allowed me to boom. That's where he went wrong. So now I'm sort of just trying to find the rest of his villages. Like, he's literally got, 50 pop remaining. Like, I didn't see this was here till much later. So I refocused my efforts into taking this down. I believe I made some siege rams. Cap rams. In a minute. More Idlevilles. At this point I was just sort of cleaning him up anyway. He comes in, decides to sack all his pikemen. I just wheel my Onager forward. And I crush about half his pikemen. Beneath my boot, he's got no resources to replenish his army. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because it's pretty much game over at this point. I'm just messing up halves. Didn't know what else to do, honestly. I sent a bunch of villagers over here just to mine the gold. I thought he might have built up his eco around here, so I brought my cavaliers in behind. Hopefully one day I'll build my rams. I got pop caps. No, because I didn't build enough houses. I blew up the rest of his eco. He reacts kind of slowly. He actually got my Onega with one knight. He sent this one knight in the middle of them all. I saw him coming, so I retreated out. I thought he might have built back up, so I came back. I was waiting for my rams, so there I go. I make a ton of capped rams. I have so many resources. My issue was I didn't know what to spend them on because I know he had a lot of crossbowmen, so messing up halberdiers didn't do too much. He actually started... Oh yeah, the game's boring. Like, mate, just because he didn't lose, he didn't win. I left caps lock on. I thought it was a decent game. He pressured me early and forced me to react to it. That's not a good side. I'd prefer to look over here. Now I thought he might go to the gold that's left, so I just sent my cavaliers over there. I left 3 of them there, but it doesn't matter. I just sent a bunch of cap rams in, sent my army in. Again, I slaughtered the rest of his economy. He has literally no villages left after this. I blow up his castle. And he GG's out. Yeah, so I wanted to play some more ranked games and do this sort of review just to help me get better. So my takeaway from this is I needed to keep creating villages as I went. And I also needed to go in some early aggression. So if I'd done some early aggression, then he wouldn't have stood a chance. His villages were spread out all over the place, so far from the TC, a drush would have ended him right there. But I didn't, and hence allowed myself open to a lot of pressure, which I had to work hard to overcome. That's my takeaway. Hope you learned something from that.